weekend in New York, and they did just that. 3 out of 4 from the first-place Mets, including back-to-back 1-0 shutouts. Tonight, Jordan Zimmermann puts his 12-game unbeaten streak against the Marlins on the line and looks to make it 6 out of 7 for the Nats. Two of the ball clubs, the Nats and the Marlins, who are playing some really good baseball right now. Miami started 3-11. They've won 9 of their last 11. The Nats 12-14. They've won 5 out of 6. And both of these ball clubs, or one of them, could be challenging for first place in the next week or so. Bob and FP, great to be back home. And that was a wild ride on that road trip. Some games that you just don't ever see, like the 13-12 game. And then it ends up with a couple of shutouts.
You start the road trip 0-4, you finish 500. Two teams that are on fire right now going to clash tonight, and I think the Nats' biggest opponent in the National League East, the Marlins. But it all started with Dan Uggla on Tuesday night. The 3-run jack put him ahead, and the comfort behind win 13-12 against his old squad started to have a different feel. Things turned around. They were 0-4 on the road trip at that point, and then it ended yesterday with Doug Fister. So the bullpen's been good. The starting pitching with Gio and Doug Fister has been good. Even Max Scherzer losing to Matt Harvey. So the Nats have scored 2 runs total in their last 3 games and taken 2 out of 3 in those 3 games from the Mets. So they're going to have to score some more runs tonight. But you look, the pitching's been great, the defense has been great, and it's just all kind of turned around and all of a sudden turned into a baseball season. Yeah, all departments working together, just enough runs when the pitching's good, and as FP, the defense solid. Ian Desmond has been anchoring that on the infield. Jordan Zimmermann, I think he had a decent game the last time he faced the Marlins here. We might see a highlight or two tonight. He's 7-0 his last 12 times out against the Fish.
A moment in Nats history we shall never forget. And Jordan trying to move on from that moment. And he moved on pretty well his last time out. What a night at the ballpark. 82 degrees. No breeze. 32% humidity. Not a cloud in the sky, and it is just perfect baseball weather. Now the Marlins are second in the league in hitting. 275 Rockies, 271 Miami, because of Giancarlo and D. Gordon. These guys are going crazy. Giancarlo, fifth in the league in homers, first in RBIs. D. Gordon has more hits than anybody on the planet with 44 right now. And so Jordan Zimmermann has his hands full with this repertoire.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second.
90, we're underway.
Last start, he threw that curveball 22% of the time. His last start against the Marlins, he didn't throw one curveball. It was all sliders. So the off-speed always key for Jordan Zimmermann. If he's got a feel for the slider, he's going to go with that. If he's got a feel for the curveball, he'll use that more. And if he's got a feel for both, look out.
And we loved his work rate in Atlanta. Facing D. Gordon here, who has 20 hits in his last 31 at-bats. He's hitting .440 with an on-base percentage of .463. Lance Barksdale has the plate. Dan Isanya. There's Eric Cooper over third. He's the crew chief. Isanya first. Ryan Blakeney, young umpire at second base. D. Gordon drives it to center, but there's a guy there. And that ball was absolutely crushed by Gordon. Denard Span right on line.
I said the defense for the Nats tonight behind Jordan Zimmermann. Where's Span Harper, your outfield? Desmond Escobar left side, Espinosa Zimmerman right side, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
Boy, against this offense, important to get that first out. And Martin Prado is next, ahead of Giancarlo Stanton. Prado having a good start, 286. And he's at .338 in his last 17 career games against the Nats. 8 for 20 against Zimmermann. Marlins on the road, 4-6. That's not going to be caught. Span will cut it off and keep Prado to a base hit. He is so good at going the other way. 1-on-1 out for the big man, the big cog in the Marlins offense, walking to the plate.
Well, everyone's going to talk about Giancarlo Stanton this series, and justifiably so. He's swinging the bat well, one of the best players in the National League. The key for me in this series is D. Gordon versus Denard Span. Whoever gets on base more, that team's going to win. And like you said, D. Gordon coming off one of the most epic homestands anybody's ever had in the history of baseball. 645 he hit in the Marlins' last homestand. You keep him off the base, you got a chance to beat these guys.
And by the way, Gordon, before being retired a moment ago, had been on base 9 consecutive at-bats. 6 hits, 3 walks. Giancarlo, 7 career hits and 3 home runs against Jordan Zimmermann, and Jason Worth simply drops a line drive that was pretty much hit right at him. I mean, that ball was really hit hard. But he's got to get an error for that.
Yeah, that's not a hard play. That ball stayed up in the air for a while. It's not really hooking. He kind of hit it through the hook, and I don't know what happened right there. His eyes on the ball. He's looking into his glove. Maybe he blocked himself out with his forearm right there and lost sight of it at the end. But he is not digging left field so far in 2015. Not at all.
Here's the center fielder, Marcelo Zuna. On the inside edge. Ozuna hitting .317, and they've been home for a week and a half, the Marlins, but last time they went on the road on a 5-game trip, he went 9 for 19. That's outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Respectable with runners in scoring position. The Marlins are 3rd in the league in runs with 110. Other than Stanton, they don't hit for a whole lot of power. And they're getting some pretty good whacks at Jordan right here. That one late, well foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Ozuna coming off a big homestand too. Mike Redmond's club playing well. They're 7-2, one of the better homestands in franchise history. But Ozuna's been more aggressive early in the count. Early in the season, passive. He's been swinging it better, and he hit .344 in the recent homestand.
Wide open stance. And a breaking ball hit up the middle, base hit. Around to score will be Prado, because he got to second base on the error. And Miami with a couple of hits here on the scoreboard early.
Well, you can't give any team extra outs, period. But if you give a hot hitting team and a team that's feeling good about themselves extra outs, they're going to take advantage. Just talked about Ozuna and his hot homestand. He keeps it going here. First at bat on the road. Base hit, RBI, puts the Marlins up 1-0. Good effort by Desmond on the dive.
Next up, the young man from Virginia and George Mason, Justin Bour. He had just been called up when the Nats were in Miami just over a week ago. And he's had 9 at-bats in 7 games with 6 hits and 2 RBIs. 1 for 5 career with an RBI against Zimmerman. Into center. Short center. Desmond out. Span behind him. And Denard makes the call. And these guys aren't waiting around. They're on the attack early. Next up will be their number 6 hitter, the young catcher, JT Realmuto.
He's talking to Marlins hitting coach Frank Menachino before the game. He said his ball club learned a valuable lesson last year in that no-hitter on the last day of the season. He felt like a lot of the younger players were just taking the game lightly because they were out of it. It was the last game of the season. And he said before they knew it, it was the 5th inning. They hadn't got a hit yet. Maybe they had one eye on going home and weren't really as focused as they should have been. He said all these young players learned a very valuable lesson that whether it's the first game of the year or the last game of the year, it's the big leagues and you have to be locked in.
Zimmerman ahead, and he goes up and in with a fastball, 1-1. Well, you can't argue with what they're doing. .271 team batting average coming in. That ball driven to right, and Bryce Harper will keep the Marlins, who are hitting line drives all over the yard, from scoring more in the first inning. It's an unearned run driven in by Ozuna, and Bryce saves the inning. By PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Monday night back home, nice crowd, beautiful evening. Hitting off to a rough start there for Jordan Zimmerman and Jason Worth, but they held them to 1, and now the Nats will go to work for the first time ever. They face David Phelps with this lineup, and Bryce is hitting 4th. He's leading both leagues in walks on base 47 times, including 19 games in a row. The only starter who has faced Phelps before, Yunel Escobar.
You see the arsenal for David Phelps. Fastball 91 to 93, slider 87, curveball 79, changeup 83.
And Denard Span with a line drive to left that goes foul.
And he's a strike thrower, Carp. He'll throw any pitch in any count. He's a guy that is a crossfire guy. And for those of you who don't know what that means, that's he steps across his body, kind of right at a right-handed hitter. And there's a lot of deception in that. We'll show you that as we get going here. But he's got a knuckle curve that's pretty good. Fastballs reach back 93, 94. And watching the video of his last start, this guy's got good stuff.
And he's been much better as a starter than he was as a reliever. He did both with the Yankees for parts of 3 years. That one on the inside edge to Denard Span, who's 14 for 47 in 11 games, and he's been on base in all but one of those. Phelps' career 16 and 14, 92 games. This is his 44th start.
Pretty good pitch.
So Denard at 298. And here he goes again. He'll see at least 5 pitches in the at-bat to start the game. The Nats, by the way, 11th in the league, hitting at 235. But despite the 1-0 wins back-to-back, they're in the top 5 in the league in runs scored. Span the other way. Speared by Prado. Low throw, and it's picked by Justin Bour.
A pretty good at bat right there by Denard Span. Great play by Martin Prado. And you see that ball stay down on him? It kind of hit the lip of the grass and stayed down. Nice pick by Justin Bour, not a problem. And David Phelps approves, so good at bat, nice play on a tricky hop to Martin Prado.
I tell you, nobody's getting cheated in AB so far in this game. Escobar. Coming off a 4 for 18 series in New York. He scorches one up the middle. And as I mentioned, he's the only Nat in the lineup who's faced David Phelps before. And against the right-hander with that hit, he's now 5 for 12.
You see the location. It was supposed to be on the inner half, left it right down the middle, hands inside the baseball, meaning he's firing those hands first, not coming around the ball. You come around that, you hit it to short, keep your hands inside, it goes up the middle the other way, and there goes the no-hitter.
That'll bring in Jason Worth. Made his first error of the year in the top of this inning. Jason, 11 hits in 18 games, hitting $159. Almost threw one away, did Phelps. Good pick by Rio Muto. It's a good take, 2-0. Takes the slider. Ball 3 with one of the best seeing the ball hitters in baseball on deck.
I think Jason's a really good example of why there's been spring training throughout the history of baseball. Some people say it's overrated and it shouldn't be that long. But you know, I think he's a perfect example of this game moves fast, and when you don't have spring training, all of a sudden, you know, he's not making plays that he makes. His average isn't where he wants it. He's trying to get in shape while the rest of the league's already in shape because they went to camp. That's not easy. It really isn't.
They're playing at game speed, right?
Yeah, full speed.
A little quick.
Full speed, yes.
That's right in there at 92, and the count goes full.
There's a reason why there's been spring training, and it's to get in shape. If not, they just start opening day, and, you know.
Who knows what might happen.
There'd be a lot of injuries.
You'd see a lot of brutal play and a lot of brutal announcing if that was the first game of the year. 3-2, 1 out. Marlins staff, by the way, 8th in the league. Overall team ERA 3.85. The Nats went down to 3.43 the last couple of days. Worth cracks one into left. Ichiro had no chance but to lay back there. And Jason Worth, one of his most authoritative pull swings we've seen so far.
And the strength will come, the home runs will come, the extra base hits will come. But right now he's still working on his timing. And if he can get to that fastball in the inner half like that and pull his hands in just like we were talking about Yunel Escobar and get to that pitch, the power, the extra bases, all that's going to come soon enough.
And you can see on the X-Mo, there was no quiver on that bat at all. He got it right on the sweet spot. So now David Phelps in a jam. Here's Bryce Harper. Harper on base percentage of .416. And he takes ball one on a borderline pitch.
It's a good take right there. That's not an easy take. He's sitting 1-0 fastball. He's ahead in the count. That looked like a strike for about 57 feet and just tailed out of the strike zone at the end. I swung at that in my mind. That was right there when you had to make your decision. He's seeing it well.
Harper takes one in there. He'll make him throw at least 4 pitches after falling behind 2-0.
I swung at that one too. Really, really hard.
So for you, it's 1-2 now.
Oh no, I might be on second.
Oh, okay.
Are we assuming I missed it?
Well, you seem to be kind of making fun of yourself there. I was just piling on. Bryce Harper just having an amazing run of at-bats here. 3-1. Matt Holliday's the second most walk batter in the league, and he has 5 fewer than Bryce Harper. Bases loaded. Harper does it again. His 25th walk.
Better be careful. Pretty soon he's going to be leading off. Check out the sequence. David Phelps to Bryce Harper. First pitch, curveball. Down and in. Then he goes 2-seam fastball, which runs away from a left-hander. Then he goes 4-seam fastball, which is straight as a string. Cuts it at 88, and then 93 down the zone.
Mercedes-Benz tracking it.
Can I?
Ryan Zimmerman at 221, but he's hitting 272 his last 13 games. And he's the Nats RBI leader with 16. Goes up swinging, hits a high fly ball to right. It'll tie the game. Stanton gets behind it. Worth will not advance from second. And Escobar home. So Ryan Zimmerman breaks into the top 10 in the league with that fly ball on RBIs.
Nats are barreling up some baseballs here in the bottom of the first inning. Nice answer to the Marlins one in the top half. Everybody high-fiving in the first base dugout. Feels good to be home. Back in those white unis and on the board. Tying this game up. Started all over again.
Everybody calling Wilson Ramos here. I'm calling him hot. 8-game hitting streak. 13 for 32. And he's had more than 1 hit in 7 of his last 14 games. Steps in at an even 300. Breaking ball, deep short, and safe at third. With 2 outs, Adeiny Echeverria decided to try to get the lead runner. And I think he surprised his third baseman.
Well, he surprised me, too. He's got a catcher running. Even though that ball was hitting the hole, he's got a strong arm. It's all he has to do is plant and throw, and he's got Wilson Ramos by 5 steps. He chose to go the easy way, and Prado never got there. Wasn't even close. So an error by the Nats. Now an error by the Marlins. And let's see if Ian Desmond, who had a couple of knocks yesterday, can make that hurt.
Desmond will pop it up out of play. They put fielder's choice up on the board. Then I thought I heard the scorers say single. So they've given Ramos a hit on that.
That's not right. That's E6, fielder's choice. He would have had him by 4 steps at first base if he threw across. Maybe you can't assume that. I don't know, but that's an error.
Desmond lays off the high heat, and the count's even 1-1.
And you know me, I'm Little League scorekeeper. I give everybody hits.
Ooh, Desmond got a center cut fastball, 93, and I think you can tell by his reaction. He knows he should have done something with that. Nine doubles, 5th best in the league. Ian just 5 RBIs in the early going, but he could add a bunch here. Right down the middle. If he guessed wrong. But the Nats come back and tie it up.
Park. Jordan Zimmermann said after his last start that he felt like he's getting close to being to his peak form after a bit of a shaky start to the season. And I asked him the other day what gave him that impression. Jordan told me that his curveball was really sharp his last start for the first time all year, and that when he's got both his curve and his slider working, it really opens things up for him. But he also said his fastball command has really been improving, which he credits to a mechanical adjustment he made. He'd been falling towards first base and not staying on line, causing the ball to run on him. And because he doesn't throw a two-seamer, Jordan says he doesn't know how to adjust when his fastball runs like that. He feels that he's been staying more through the pitch lately, has really improved his fastball command, and thinks he's getting close to where he wants to be.
Jordan takes on Ichiro here, 90, second inning underway. And when you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. That's Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Ichiro, career .395 against the Nationals, and add another. He bounces one through for his 19th hit of the year and the 2,863rd of his U.S. career.
See, that's just a little something right there that I said we keep an eye on this year. Watch Ryan Zimmerman go to the base and not the ball right there. It's something that he's still in between as a first baseman. You see his reaction right there. He's used to going for everything. There's been a few times this year where he's maybe gone too far, and that's just something he's going to have to play over there and learn. Yes, I'm going for this ball. No, I'm not going for that ball. That's just experience. And if he had played over there a lot longer, he might have went for that baseball, but he just retreated the bag and maybe caught in between. When you talk to people that move to first base, that's one of the toughest adjustments.
He'll catch the throw in right into the runner, Echeverria. Jordan Zimmerman made that close. Suzuki, pardon me, with Echeverria stepping in. And Ichiro has been an outstanding base runner through his career. 489 major league stolen bases. That's a fastball under the hands of the shortstop, Echeverria, who is 5 out of 11 over his last 3 games against Nats pitching. Slider, low and away taken.
And getting back to Dan's report, when you're falling toward your own dugout or the first baseline, all your energy is going that way. And you're not throwing through the target. So we always talk about the late life and the hop on the Jordan Zimmerman fastball. If you're not going toward the catcher and all your energy and your motion is going that way, it's going to be a softer fastball. We talk about heavy pitches and spin rate. If you stay through that and focus your motion and all of your inertia toward the catcher, now you're going to get that hop on the ball. But if you're falling toward the dugout, it's almost like a cut shot in golf, right? It just kind of fades. And
oh, they got him. Zim to Zim, and now Desmond to Jordan. 1-3-6-1. Well, that's one way to retire a guy who's hitting 400 against you.
Well, that's the way they got D. Gordon out the whole last series in Miami. They let him get to first, and then they either threw him out at second or picked him off. So I guess that's the best defense for these left-handed hitters that could run. Ichiro's been doing a nice job. I think he stole a couple of bases yesterday. He led off for the Marlins, stole second and third to lead the game off. Gets picked off here.
Yeah, and that's big with the number 8 hitter batting and then the pitcher on deck here. Second inning as Jordan tries to get a shutdown inning after his teammates tied the game. The count, though, 3-1 on Adeiny Echeverria. How about a guy batting 8th who's hitting .312? And that's about 70 points above his career average.
The 8th spot in the Marlins order, hitting .344 this year. That leads the majors.
Wow.
The first spot's hitting .437. That also leads the majors.
3-2 with 1 out. Got him. A ball cutting away from the right-handed batter. Jordan Zimmerman, strikeout number 1.
Little slider right here from Jordan. See, 93-mile-an-hour fastball to an 88-mile-an-hour slider. And like Dan said, we said earlier, if he's got the slider and the curve working, look out. Only really needs one of them if his fastball has location.
David Phelps 0 for 6. And in his career, most of it in the American League, he's an 0 for 12 hitter. He didn't go. Fastball in there, and a couple of Ks. So Ichiro picked off first to start the inning. It'll be 8-9-1 now for the Nats. Here at the ballpark for Livan Hernandez, one of the great Nats and one of the original guys who got this thing whole started, and that was after some pretty good years. FP, this is him as a rookie with the Marlins and then with the Giants. Always a solid postseason guy as well.
I want to see a highlight from that playoff game. He was with the Marlins, and Eric Gregg's strike zone was as big as Montana. And he was just throwing everything up there, and Eric Gregg just kept calling strike after strike after strike. But we missed the Levo show every fifth day. Whether it was fielding a bunt, him laying down a bunt, fielding a comebacker, whatever.
You know, in 2012, Levo pitched for the Braves and the Brewers. Levon Arnold, jet plane, I like it.
Yeah.
He went 4-1 his last year in the big leagues in 2012, and that got his record to 178 and 177. So he finished with a winning record in 519 games and 474 starts.
My teammate in San Francisco, I'll tell you what, top-notch teammate. He was a joy to be around every day.
Danny Espinosa, 10 for his last 23. Hitting .271 overall. A little bit outside, and Lance Barksdale has a tighter zone than we saw in the corners in New York yesterday.
Way tighter than Eric Gregg's.
Bruce Dreckman, I thought, was pretty generous yesterday. Helped both ball clubs. That was a changeup. 24 pitches first inning for David Phelps, 15 strikes. Now he falls behind 2-0 with a pitcher on deck. 3-0 on Danny Espinosa.
With a nice bat last 6 games.
Taking all the way.
You know, Jason Worth messed up in the first inning. The third straight 1-0 win.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Let's go.
It had been 17-14. That was the year, the last time they had 3 in a row.
Well, it was 1915, the last time a DC-based ball club won back-to-back 1-0 games. Although there wasn't baseball here for a lot of years, but still, anytime you throw 1915 in there, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last time somebody went 1-0 3 times, that was a different sport.
Yes.
Played with guys in shorts and kicking a ball around.
Hockey.
3-2 to Espinosa. Fastball up and away, and he hits it that way out to left. The ball's going to carry to the track. Ichiro pulls it in. Danny Espinosa hit that ball about 345 to left.
Different ballpark than when we left, huh? It's warm balls carrying. Speaking of carrying, I don't know what I just said for a segue. Sunday, July 19th, 1:35 start against the Dyers. Star Wars Day. It's presented by, I don't know, Think Geek. Yeah, Sunday, July 19th. Additionally, first 25,000 fans, you're going to receive a Washington Nationals edition R2-D2 can cooler. Fans of the game that night, you get a sneak peek of the Star Wars Day. All right.
Help us, Ryan Zimmerman. You're our only hope.
That promo is longer than the movie.
A lot of information. Obi-Wan Kazim.
I've never seen a Star Wars.
No?
Nope.
Oh.
I mean, I know all about it. I know what happens. I've heard the ending, but I've just never seen any of them.
I don't think there is an ending.
I'm not a sci-fi guy. I'm not.
That's outside to Jordan Zimmerman.
But I think that night at the ballpark would be awesome.
Fastball running up and in, and Jordan strikes out.
As long as it's not disco demolition, I'm for any promo.
As long as it's not disco anything, I'm okay.
Who's hot, who's not? Bob Carpenter is smoking hot. Let's see what it says for the Baseball Nationals. There you go. Last 12 games. 5-1 plus 14. Batting average bueno. ERA bueno. Check out the errors on the bottom, folks. 7 errors in the previous 6 games. And that'll lead to an 0-6 every single time.
Check out MidAtlanticComfort.com. American Standard. Who's hot? Top of the order, Denard Span. He hit a ball hard to the left side of the infield first time, and Martin Prado robbed him of a 2-base hit. That's a good take. 1-1. Debris strewn on deck circle. Escobar's pretty far from the on deck circle right now. In fact, he's closer to Denard's span than he is to the on deck circle.
And you know why he's doing that? He's trying to get some sort of release point and angle.
Span goes the other way again. A little jump stop by Prado that time. And it gave Justin Bour a nice long hop. Prado doesn't know there's 3 outs, or either that or he wants to give the ball to a kid over by the third base dugout. He came running back onto the field while his teammates headed for the dugout. This guy's pretty good over there. It's 1-3-1 Nats. Jeep takes us inside the numbers of successful pitchers. And since the start of 2012, most team wins when certain guys start. And the Nats have 2 in that top 6. Zimmerman outside. By the way, Max Scherzer been talking hitting there with Rick Shue.
Even though the Nats lost that second game of the series, that was just amazing to watch Matt Harvey and Max Scherzer go at it. We were excited about that game before, but it lived up to every billing anticipation that we had. It was just 2 heavyweights going toe-to-toe. It was, unless you were hitting, it was fun to watch.
Ian Desmond. Hey, the Nats have retired D. Gordon twice. D. Gordon and more from Mass and Dan.
All right, Bob, so we've talked about how hot D. Gordon has been to start the season. Get this, he's now been retired in his 2 at-bats today. He would have to go 0 for his next 45 for his batting average this season to dip below 300. That's how good he's been.
Yeah, and he'd have to go about 0 for 10 to go below 400.
Dan, he's on his way. 0 for
2. He came in 44 for 100.
Speed doesn't slump, folks. He ain't going 0 for 45.
Next up, Martin Prado, base hit the other way. Came around to score after the Worth error on the RBI single by Marcelo Zuna. Sharply right side, Danny Espinosa to a knee. 2 quick outs for Jordan Zimmerman, and now he's starting to get into that rhythm, FP, he had in Atlanta in the last game of that series.
Yep.
I mean, he was working fast and efficiently, mixing things up, and the outs came quickly.
It was like the 3rd inning, something clicked where he just said, forget this. I'm going to work fast. I'm going to get the ball and throw it. But he's got a big out to get here for number 3 in the 3rd.
Yeah, Stanton really hit that ball hard to Worth, a low laser. I don't know if that ball was knuckling on Jason a little bit. But Jordan's going to jam him enough, and a ground ball to Desmond. 1, 2, 3 5 in a row and 7 of the last 8 now for Jordan Zimmermann.
Of the third inning. Join us at Nats Park tomorrow, May 5th. Nats take on these very Marlins, 7:05 start, taking the second 10-year Tuesday of the season. It's going to feature video highlights from the past 10 years. First 10,000 fans will receive a collectible 10-year anniversary bottle stopper. I have seen one of those, and I do have one of those. For tickets, go to nationals.com. Seen a few bottle stoppers. I see red people, and it's nice to see red people. We've been on the road forever. Great to be back at Nats Park. Great to be back home in D.C.
That was a long trek. Escobar, base it up the middle first time, and a base hit to left this time. Ichiro gets to it in a hurry, and Escobar wisely back to first. We hope. Just got back. Ichiro to Gordon, and they almost had him. Escobar 2 for 2.
Mike Redmond's going to take a look at it. He's on the top step. He's telling home plate umpire Lance Barksdale they're going to check this out, and whether they're going to challenge or not, we'll see, and we'll all look at it together. I thought it was a big turn by Yunel Escobar, and they finally got one past Martin Prado, so check that box. Watch Ichiro. He can still throw. Boom. And D. Gordon with the relay to first. And right there, that last jelly leg is what made it close at first base.
Boy, it looked like the ball beat him.
Dan Iasonio's right there. He had a good view. I couldn't tell from that angle. And they're not going to challenge.
Good, because the Nats have had the short end of challenges for the last several days, especially in New York. So here's Worth, who scorched one to left. Nationals have 4 hits already.
Check it out one more time. This will give you a good look. But look at Iasonio's position. I mean, he's right there. Look, he's looking right at it. Give Dan Iasonia some credit for being in the perfect spot right there on a play that doesn't happen very often. He saw it developing. I like that.
Yeah.
And we get on those guys when they miss calls, but he was in perfect position to make that one properly.
Good umpire, Dan Iasonia, 14th year in the big leagues. Oh, 2. Worth has to reach because that was close enough. That might have been paint on the outside corner. Target in and back in plenty of time, Escobar.
Bro, in game 26, the Nats have 7 stolen base attempts. They've made 3 of them. They've been doing a really good job of going first to third on base hits, but they haven't really had the personnel to be aggressive yet with a stolen base. Yeah, 3 for 10, caught 7 times. My bad.
Well, the running game will come as guys get health back, like Worth, like Span. Bryce Harper will start ripping some bags. Anthony Rendon could affect that, as we talked over the weekend about it. Hey, right now you'll take a team with all the issues this club has faced. It's 5th in the league in scoring runs. And a ball hit, speared by Echeverria. Wow. The Marlins are the best defensive team in the National League right now. They've only made 8 errors the entire season, second to Tampa Bay. Echeverria making up for his gaffe back in the first inning, maybe, with that one.
Well, that was a beautiful play. Unless you're Jason Worth, Denard Span could have had a pair of doubles if it weren't for Martin Prado. And now Adeiny Echeverria doing a nice job throwing from the seat of his pants right on the money to D. Gordon, who's looking to turn it. It's a confident group, folks. You can just tell by the way they're playing defense, the way they're swinging the bats. That's a great shot right there. What a play.
Bryce Harper. And that's the first time he's left the strike zone in a while. Maybe since he faced Matt Harvey Friday night.
Yeah, every once in a while as a hitter, you say, I'm swinging at the first pitch, and you get real aggressive no matter where it is. That's okay. He'll run into more than he doesn't.
Bryce on base percentage now climbing up to 420 or so with a first inning walk.
Might be telling himself to keep his head still right there. He saw the self-talk between pitches.
Off speed, he wasn't biting. Bryce, .313 career against Miami. That'll be in there, inner half. Counts even 2-2. On base 20 games in a row now. Playing Bryce to pull on the infield and at every position except left field, where Ichiro was shaded over toward the line. So Bryce, all of his homers and 11 of his 15 RBIs against right-handed pitching. Outfield deep. Close, ball 3. His plate discipline has been amazing.
When you're relaxed and you're keeping your head still, it allows you to see the baseball so much longer. And it allows you to actually see it sooner, too. Right out of his hand, you pick up rotation. You know what pitch it is. But when you're not feeling good at the plate and you're jumping, and your bat feels slow and you feel like you have to generate a lot to get going, your head moves, and then that makes everything else more difficult. He is so calm with his body at the plate, besides his mindset.
3-2 pitch. He takes it. Another borderline take by Bryce Harper, who's the eagle eye of Major League Baseball right now.
Well, he's getting a reputation, too. Umpires talk. Don't think they don't. Borderline pitches are starting to go his way. They read the stat sheet before the game, and they know that he's got a lot of walks. He's seen a lot of pitches, and he's showing the world that he knows the strike zone.
Here's Ryan Zimmerman, who with the bases loaded first time, went first pitch hacking, hit a fly ball to medium depth right field for his 17th RBI. There are only 4 hitters in the league going into tonight now who have more runs batted in than Ryan Zimmerman in the National League. He'll be flirting with 190 home runs soon.
727 of those RBIs you're talking about.
Brian drove in 95 3 years ago. Last time he drove in 100 was 09 when he hit 33 home runs. He's on a good pace here. Fastball runs back for strike 2. Tried it again, and he just missed. Pretty good pitch. The count's even.
Some umpires don't like to ring guys up. They just don't like to call the third strike. Hey, Lance Barksdale's had a few opportunities tonight on both sides to ring guys up, and he's called some close pitches balls.
On a breaking ball, Ryan hits one right to the shortstop. That'll be an easy 6-4-3 turn for the Marlins. Escobar's leadoff hit, and one stranded in a 1-1 game.
Delivering life's most important connections. 1-1 ball game. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Yunel Escobar doing his thing. Jordan Zimmerman same. Bryce Harper has reached base in 20 games. But if you missed the scoring, maybe you're just getting home from work. Marcell Ozuna with a base hit up the middle in the first inning. That would score Martin Prado. 1-0 Marlins. And then with the bases loaded, 1 out, Ryan Zimmerman deep fly ball to Giancarlo Stanton. Yunel Escobar, who singled first knock of the night, scores to make it 1-1. So there you go. You're all caught up.
And if you just got home from work, tell your boss to take it easy. Top of the 4th, Ozuna, Bohr, Real Muto, 4-5-6 for the Marlins.
There's this thing, Carp, in DC. It's called traffic. And there's just a little bit of it every now and then.
Well, tell the boss to let you off at 4 so you can get home at a decent time.
Still.
Ozuna went down and got a breaking ball and took it up the middle for an RBI first time. Jordan slides him low and away, and the count's even 1-1. Yeah, don't look down. You might miss a pitch. Zimmerman working quickly. 37 pitches, 26 strikes in his first 3 innings. Ozuna, a chopper that'll even things at 2-2. Brett Butler makes the play. So if you're sitting over on the third base side, great view of the diamond from over there. Jams him. Hot shot, 1 hopper. Escobar. 6 in a row. So 2 with the Marlins, 3 with the Braves as we look at our next 5. Tomorrow night, Steven Strasburg, Matt Latos, and then a 1 o'clock game on Wednesday that'll be a treat with Max Scherzer trying to get back in the W column. He'll take on Tom Kohler. Day off Thursday. Braves are here. Make a special note of the 4 o'clock starting time Saturday, and our friends from WUSA 9 with us Saturday, Sunday. Here's Justin Bohr. Westfield High School, Chantilly. George Mason University after that. Marlins got him from the Cubs in the Rule 5 draft back in 13. Nice debut last year. He had 284 in 39 games. Ian Desmond's glad that ball didn't hit the bag. It didn't miss by much on its way up the middle where Desmond was playing.
Good scouting, had him in the right spot.
4 ground ball outs in a row.
Little topspin on this ball, and when it hits the dirt, it'll shoot on you. Meaning once that topspin hits, the ball picks up a little bit of speed, and you got to be ready. Nice play.
JT Real Muto out of play to the right side. He lined out hard to Bryce Harper, who made that sparkling play to end the first inning with 1 run already in and 2 other men on base.
Bryce Harper's going to win a Gold Glove in right field. Mark my words.
Agreed. He has 3 outfield assists this year.
I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know when, but he's going to win one out there.
And a fastball slammed off the mask of Ramos.
He still hasn't straightened it out. Did you see that?
Yeah, Lance Barksdale's going to come out and sweep off home plate to give the man in front of him a few extra seconds. Umpires are gentlemen when it comes to that.
He's missing a few grains. See him tamping the clay down right there. He wants that smooth in case the ball hits it and shoots up and gets the catcher or him.
0-2 pitch. Breaking ball of beauty. Desmond, backhand, plants, fires, got in at first. Ryan Zimmerman's become pretty good at selling those at first base, doesn't he?
He did. I was just about to say that was nicely done by Ryan Zimmerman coming off the bag, selling the call. Nice play by Ian Desmond.
can be. Look where Abe starts on the Geico President's Race.
This is a good one. Watch this.
Oops.
George header right into the wall.
Teddy's going to win, right?
No, Abe's busting it. Watch this.
Abe has always been the best closer of the bunch. When he gets that beard going back and forth, he's hard to beat.
Yep. I like that. That was a good old-fashioned President's Race right there. A couple of lip skids.
Yeah.
It's good.
Second leg of the Triple Crown. We've had the Kentucky Derby, now the Presidents. Here's Wilson Ramos, base hit up the middle, actually to the left side first time on that weird play where Echeverria threw the ball to third with 2 outs and picked off his third baseman instead of the runner. So Wilson Ramos with another hit tonight could have his 8th multi-hit game in his last 15. He and Bryce Harper tied for the team lead with 7. .78 hanging up and in 2-0. He took a shot. 90 upstairs. Phelps has given up not a single home run this year in just under 22 innings. Breaking ball, hit out of play. As a starter, he came into this game 1-0 with a 1.53. No record, limited sample, but a 36 ERA as a reliever. Got knocked around a bit, and they put him in the rotation. They'll be getting Henderson Alvarez back soon. And then, of course, Fernandez, the big one later. 3-2. Ramos bites on the big curveball in the dirt.
Check out Ian Desmond's play to end the 4th inning. You know, Real Muto can run a little bit, and I'm not going to say for a catcher because he can run, but just a plant got rid of it with something on it, and watch Ryan Zimmerman kind of sell the call at first base. Really good article in the Post James Wagner wrote about Ian Desmond switching gloves. We noted it at the time when he switched from his black one to his brown one, both Mizuno gloves. And he said that the black one was just, he put it into the game a little bit too soon. It wasn't game ready. The ball wasn't sticking in it, so he went back to his practice glove, the brown one. And what did he say, Cart?
He sent his black glove to AAA for more seasoning.
Yeah, it wasn't working.
He says he'll call it up when it's ready, and then he's got another tan one that he's gradually breaking in as well.
It was a good article by James.
Well done, James.
Well, maybe we can put his black glove on the minor league report and see how it's doing in Syracuse.
That was great.
I'm pretty sure it's not in Syracuse.
Yeah, it's probably in BP is where it is.
Yeah, it might be in a dumpster. Sometimes you have gloves that just don't feel right.
Kind of like headsets for us. Got to change them out every once in a while.
Ties.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Makeup.
See, nobody knew we knew makeup until you got this job.
I had
talk about that way too much.
I had a pen the first couple weeks. It wasn't working very good.
Everybody thought we were just, you know, nicely complexion guys. Ooh, there's another one of those center cut fastballs that Ian Desmond keeps jumping on.
Day game after night game, we pile it on. Like with the spatula.
2-2. Got him on the front door. Desmond gave up on it. Some deception right there. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Well, pretty good curveball. His watch starts right at Ian and then comes back, gave up on it. Maybe thought it was going to hit him. Late break, gets the call.
Yeah, the previous time up, Phelps froze Desmond looking with a fastball down the middle. So some trickery for the second out. And here's Danny Espinosa, who fly deep to left First time up, he had a fly ball that didn't look like it was doing much, and it put Ichiro halfway back onto the track. This will be a lot more shallow to Suzuki. And the second time tonight, David Phelps gets a 1-2-3. Good ball game. 5th inning, straight ahead.
After the first inning where he allowed a run, a little pickoff of Ichiro Suzuki, who led off the second with his single. We got a little pickle. Tag him out. And then the big guy gets tied up. Ground ball to Ian Desmond. That would end that 3rd inning. Then he's getting a little help from his defense. Don't forget Bryce Harper's play on JT Realmuto. The nice play by Desmond. So he's getting the rhythm, working faster. Guys making plays. Vintage Jordan Zimmerman so far in this one.
Yeah, he gave up a couple of bolts early, but he has settled down beautifully. 8 in a row, 10 of the last 11 Marlins. Last guy to get a hit, Ichiro. Here he comes, top 5. On the grass at third, Escobar, fastball away. Or if you like some obscure numbers, 41-41. That's now the number of hits Ichiro has with Japan and the major leagues put together. 4,141. Just kind of bumps that ball to the mound. Off to the races. Zimmerman throws him out.
Is this Ian's glove?
For the achiever in you, PNC Bank. No, but it's a guy, Caleb Ramsey. He's a AA. Caleb, out of the University of Houston, 11th rounder back in 2011, and he is raking. He's an outfielder. 11th round pick. Big fella, 6'2", 215. It's his 5th professional season. He hit .245 at Harrisburg last year. And a foul ball off the bat of first pitch swinging, Danny Echeverria.
Hitting .462 on the road this year.
Had some hits that just broke the Nats' backs in Miami weekend before last.
Leads major league shortstops in RBI, 16, and runs 17.
Yeah, he's one of their building blocks. Just turned 26 on April 15th. He was involved in that mega trade with the Marlins and the Blue Jays. Bonifacio, John Buck, Mark Burley, Josh Johnson, all those guys, Jose Reyes. And he has become an outstanding big league shortstop. He's now 6 for his last 13 against the Nats.
Did you see the Marlins lineup yesterday? Donovan Solano and Jonathan Solano hitting 7th and 8th. It's the first time that brothers have ever played in the same lineup in Marlins history. So
cool.
I thought that was cool.
Very cool. 2 great kids. We enjoyed Jonathan when he was here. Here's Phelps, a chance to sacrifice. He has 2 career sacrifice bunts, and Ryan Zimmerman will tag him on number 3. Well done.
Bring mom out to the ball game for Mother's Day and watch the Nats take on the Braves. That's this Sunday, May 10th, 1:35 start. Flowers will be provided to moms as they exit the ballpark because they absolutely deserve it. They're moms. Compliments of Harris Teeter while supplies last. For game tickets, visit nationals.com. Bring your mom to the yard. Where else would you rather be on Mother's Day? She'll be here.
Mom's telling him, keep it in the box. Don't take it out. Oh, here it comes.
No, you got to take it out, play with it, and maybe even break it. Who cares? Play with that thing.
All right, good luck getting that bag in there.
Levon, of all people, would want you to play with his bobblehead.
I remember the day at Wrigley Field when he came back to the Nats, and it was like everything was okay again.
He made you feel like that every fifth day, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And around the clubhouse and everywhere the team traveled. I remember chatting with Leva one day. I just kind of out of the blue, I said, what do you do between starts to, kind of get away? And he said he would stay awake into the wee hours. He would go out and watch movies. He said, I just love watching movies. He'd go out and watch a couple, come home and put a couple in the tape machine.
You bought that, huh?
He was a big movie buff. Yeah, he seemed very convincing. Swing and a miss, and I do believe he has seen Star Wars as opposed to somebody else around here. So a big curveball for the strikeout. 3 Ks for Jordan Zimmermann.
One as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Look at Ichiro throwing the ball in the stands right there, or did he? The Nats win, everyone wins all season long. When the Nats win and score 7 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu prices. Online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code NATS50. You can order a pine tar pizza. It's their biggest seller. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Washington Nationals.
It's Denard Span working with all those toys over there. Bottom of the 5th, Jordan Zimmermann leads off. David Phelps throwing his 70th pitch of the night. It's a fastball for a strike. He's retired 4 straight, including that double play. David Phelps, 28 years of age, 6'2", 200. He's from Max Scherzer's part of the Midwest, St. Louis area. And Jordan Zimmermann reaches out and gets that slider and just cruising to it, Ichiro Suzuki. Denard Span, couple of at-bats, robbed twice.
Martin Prado right here taking a double away from Denard Span. Would have been a leadoff double. Nice pick by Justin Bohr. And then this one kind of an in-between hopper. Prado going away from the plate, jump turn, and Bohr with another nice pick on the back end. So taking a few knocks away from the Nats leadoff hitter has Martin Prado.
Yeah, they really like Justin Bohr at first base, and he's taking some playing time away from Michael Morse right now. The former Nat hitting $193. And of course, when you're a left-handed hitter, you're going to get more at bats. That ball really scorched into center, so Denard finally rewarded as he finds some turf where there's nobody with a glove.
Martin Prado catches that one. We got news.
Yeah.
Just a sinker right out over the plate. Look at how long, and I've been marveling at Denard's swing the whole road trip on how long he's waiting for the ball and how deep he's letting it get. There's such a tendency as a hitter to really go out in front and get the baseball. But he's keeping his head real still. He's letting the ball travel, and that enables you to make decisions a click later than everybody else. It's been impressive.
And he's now batting .300, 15 for 50 since coming back. Escobar 2 for 2.
Also, you have to have really quick hands to be able to do that. That's not easy.
Would the Nats consider doing a little running here? They're behind in the count right now. But you got a good base runner, ideal hit and run guy. Denard's got to make sure he's safely aboard there through this at bat. So we'll see where the count takes us here and what Matt Williams with these two veterans might have in mind. Now Escobar in the hole 0-2, but he doesn't mind hitting with 2 strikes.
Normally I'd say yes, Cart, but Denard's, I mean, that thing hurts when he runs, you know? It's still a little bit tight when he's running all over the place, and I think the quick starts, the 0 to 60 in a couple of steps, I don't know if he's crazy comfortable with that yet.
Told us it's a feel thing, kind of every day, seeing how things are put together when he gets to first base. He does have a steal. That only happened a day or two after he came back. He just said it felt right.
Pretty good numbers against David Phelps.
Yeah, the only Nat that had ever faced him, at least in the lineup, and now he's going to be 3 for 3. Escobar dropping one into right field. First and second, 2 outs, and here comes Jason Worth. 1 out, pardon me. 2 on, 1 out, and Worth, who's looked pretty good with his swing tonight.
You see the hands close to his body? That's what I mean by hands inside the baseball. If you cast your hands out, you come around that pitch and it's a double play. But if you keep your hands close to your body and you're thinking right field, it allows you a lot of time with the pitch, not to be fooled on a pitch. He does so many things right at the plate. He's been a joy to watch early in this season.
Yeah, he had a mini slump Friday, Saturday, Sunday after a 3-hit night Thursday in New York. So he is back. And here's Worth, who's 1 for 2 with a base hit to left and a ground ball to short. He was robbed by Echeverria of a possible another base hit. And Worth gets under that one and pops it up. Umpires were looking at each other, and at the very last second, Cooper and Blakeney put up the arms for the infield fly rule with the ball well out into the outfield, 2 down. It'll be up to Bryce Harper, who's had 2 really good at-bats. Maybe ready to do some damage here if Phelps gives him the chance. Two walks, 26 on the season. Ball 9.
For those of you that don't know what the infield fly rule, I guarantee you there's a few guys in each dugout right now that don't. It's to prevent infielders from intentionally dropping a pop-up and allowing them to, you know, a double play or a triple play. Mm-hmm. It's with runners on first and second or when the bases are loaded and the umpire has to judge whether or not it's an infield fly.
And that's with less than 2 outs. Right. Yeah, and that's why that makes that call interesting on a ball well out into the outfield. Cardinals and the Braves, remember that from the playoffs a couple years ago. far out the action we're having here tonight. Top of the sixth, slider, strike one. Martin Prado, 1 for 2. Gone the other way twice. Stanton and then Ozuna. So big hitters for Jordan Zimmermann here. He's thrown 61 pitches, 43 strikes. And a rocket to right center. Denard Span makes an adjustment as that ball is moving away from him. Marlins box unearned run in the first because of a hard hit ball by Stanton to Worth that Jason dropped in between two singles. And since then, 2 hits, Ichiro leading off the second, and then Echeverria with 1 out, 5th inning. Giancarlo 0 for 2. Fastball stands him up. And he gashes one to left center. Span is after it. He won't get there. 385 feet away after a long run.
You know, you watch the game on the monitor a little more at home than you do on the road just because we're so high up. And I'm watching this pitch, and I watched him make contact. And I just looked out at the last second just in case this ball was in the ballpark. I thought he got it. I thought it was gone. But Denard Span with another pristine route. A to B as good as anybody I've ever seen. Knows where the ball is going to end up. In traffic on the warning track against the fence. Golf clap from his pitcher. Nice play, Denard Span. Hashtag Spanning.
Here's Ozuna. Bounce it is short. Quick inning for Jordan Zimmermann. 3 outs, 2 to Span, 1 to the shortstop. You got a pitcher in cruise control thanks to his defense.
It's being ready for the baseball, and that enables you to have a good jump. And number 2, it's routes. Watch where he goes. I mean, he's always A to B, right to the baseball. And it's knowing where the ball's going to end up. If you're not sure as a center fielder, how many times have you seen guys take the circuitous route? Maybe jab step in, a little bow in the route, to where it's kind of a banana route, what I like to call, not a A to B straight line. In the last couple of years I've gotten to watch Denard Span play, I haven't seen a center fielder know where the ball is going to end up and go in a perfectly straight line to that point to make the play. That was a perfect example right there. And how do you get there? It's just practice. There's an instinct about you that sometimes you can't teach, though, that goes along with practice, just knowing where the ball is going to end up. And he knows exactly where every ball is going to end up.
Ooh, right there. Phelps missed his spot on the second pitch to Zimmermann with his catcher set up inside. And Ryan's behind 0-2. Nats a run on 3 hits in the first. The RBI on the Zimmermann sac fly, 17th of the year. 3 hits since 2 last inning. He got a lot of plate with that slider, but Ryan hit it hard right at the shortstop. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Ramos and Desmond the next two, and both pitchers dealing here since the first inning. David Phelps making his 44th major league start. 5-5 for the Yankees last year, 6-5 the year before that. 4-4 his debut back in 12. And a breaking ball fouled by Wilson Ramos. Ramos has a 9-game hitting streak, by the way, 14 for 34. With that fortunate infield knock he got back in the first inning. That one was sitting up a bit. He hits it hard right at Marcell Ozuna. 2 outs.
Join us Friday. That would be May 8th on your calendars. The Nats take on the Braves. 7:05 start. The Nats will celebrate U.S. Navy Day. That's delivered by UPS. Navy Jazz Band The Commodores are going to perform in Centerfield Plaza. And the Navy Silent Drill Team, which is just the opposite of a band, will take the field before the game. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your tickets today.
Brent Zimmerman is all over the promos tonight. And he and Desmond will pop one up. Third base side of the mound for Martin Prado, and that's a quick inning. Jordan Zimmerman had a 6-pitch inning, and then Phelps just about as quick. This thing into the 7th. Brought to you by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code Dugout for free entry. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org.
Boy, did you see that Exmo and how still Denard's head was in that swing? Didn't move an inch.
What's he have in store for us this inning? Justin Bour, JT Realmuto, and Ichiro Suzuki. Bour a fly ball to Span, a ground ball to Desmond. Ian has him played up the middle again. He's on some kind of pace tonight. Jordan coming off 94 pitches and 7 solid innings at Atlanta. That's when the Nats had 13 for the second consecutive night, won that game by 9 runs. And on a 2-0 pitch, Bour, foul ball out of play left side.
You talk about reading swings. And if a guy's ahead in the count 2-0 and he fouls a ball off of his own dugout, he's not getting to your fastball away.
Target in. Handcuffed him.
Or just not getting to your fastball, period. And so many times with whatever team, you see a guy late on a 2-0 fastball, and then they throw him a 2-1 slider, speeds him up, and he hits it out of the ballpark. But Jordan doing a nice job with Wilson Ramos is seeing that Bohr's having trouble getting to the heater.
Breaking ball in the dirt, 3-2. Challenges him. Fly ball. This thing's got some carry to it. Worth going back, and it's gone. Justin Bohr, a home run to the opposite field. Only the second given up by Zimmerman this year. That's Justin Bohr's first of the year. And his second big league home run.
The 3-2 fastball, it's up. So the difference in the fastballs in the sequence, the ones he was having trouble getting to were down. This one belt high. It gets extended and just sneaks out of here to make it 2-1 Marlins. Good effort by Jason Worth, but that ball out of reach.
Here's Real Muto, who's been robbed of hits on good plays by Harper and Desmond. For the Marlins, their 15th home run of the year. They're looking for somebody who can hit the ball out of the ballpark other than Giancarlo. Ozuna does not have a homer this year. That was Bohr's first. He'll get a few when Christian Yelich comes back. And now Harper after this one. Bryce will run it down right on the edge of the track. And you're right about something you said a couple hours ago. We are seeing a different Nationals ballpark. Temperatures in the 80s today. It's a lot smaller than when we left a week and a half ago.
Yeah, and I've said a number of times that I've never seen a ballpark fluctuate with the weather more than Nats Park. When it's cold, this place plays huge. When it's warm, it plays small. Nice route by Bryce Harper. Once again, he's having a nice night in right field.
Ichiro takes a fastball on the inside edge. He's 1 for 2. Base hit, second inning pulled, and a bouncer back to Zimmerman. There he is with that patented bailout swing, trying to guide one down the left field line. You talk about a guy whose bat is in the hitting zone for a while.
Bat's in the hitting zone. He's not. He's halfway down the first baseline.
Yeah. There he just bumps one up the middle. Desmond knew he had to be in a hurry. He plays it well. I mean, Ichiro over the years has had hundreds of infield hits on balls hit a lot like that.
Well, those are balls that he used to beat out when he was a Mariner. I mean, put that one in your pocket. He used to absolutely fly down the line. He still runs, I'd say, a tick above average, but a nice play by Ian Desmond knowing he has to hurry.
41 years of age and still moving like that. Here's Echeverria, base hit to right center last time up. And another one. Well, that turns the lineup over for the Marlins. Gets David Phelps to the plate here in the top of the 7th. Phelps 0 for 1, sacrificed last time. Pretty healthy hack. 0 for 13 as a big league hitter. 7 of those at bats this year. Oh, and 2. Got him. Jordan Zimmerman due to bat second in the bottom of the 7th, and the Justin Bohr homer has put the Marlins on top. So it's time for our Hyundai 7th inning stretch on a beautiful night at Nationals Park. The Marlins on the homer by 1. presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Marlins 2-1 on the Justin Bour home run, the top of the 7th. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, the Potomac Nationals promo. The Peanuts return to the Fitz through May 11th. All kinds of fun stuff going on there, especially the post-game diamond dig. For all your ticket and promotional information, visit Potomac Nationals.
Bet the grounds crew loves that one, huh?
I don't know what that is. I think it involves a tractor, maybe.
Jordan Zimmerman is on deck. That could change. Bullpen gets busy with Blake Trinan, as Jordan is due up after Danny Espinosa here, bottom of the 7th.
Well, you'd think if Espinosa reaches, Zimmerman would bunt him over. Then you have your bench at full strength. If he doesn't, maybe you go with a pinch hitter. We'll see.
And the Nats, of course, have one left-handed bat they could use, Clint Robinson. Danny Espinosa gets the count in his favor. He's hit 2 fly balls to left, one pretty deep, 0 for 2. Nats seeing David Phelps for the first time, and he's been pretty good. 2-0. Clint Robinson with the gloves, the helmet, and a bat. Espinosa hooks one way foul. Look out. Espinosa to the right side and to his left, D. Gordon. And Jordan Zimmerman's shoulders slumped a little bit watching from the on-deck circle. He's done for the night. Sam Dyson, the righty, lefty Mike Dunn, their starter. David Phelps in the 90 pitch range. And here's Clint Robinson. Had a pinch hit in New York. 2 for 9 with an RBI as a pinch batter. Jordan Zimmerman, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts. Didn't walk a batter, picked a batter off. 81 pitches, 58 strikes. Robinson takes one outside, 3-0.
Yes.
And of course, that's the answer to the question, does he have the green light? We often do answers before questions here on Masson. Ball 4.
That didn't miss.
Well, that's not what the Marlins wanted. Mercedes-Benz will track, and we talked about this, FP. Lance Barksdale's had a tight zone.
Yeah, I think this was outside, but 3-0 a lot of times is automatic strike, so give Barksdale credit to staying with his zone in the 3-0 count. Tying run aboard in the 7th. Game on. Here we go.
And Denard Span has had some good swings at David Phelps tonight.
And that's going to end his night. Possibly.
3rd walk. He's gone 6 1/3. Last time out, he went 6 against the Mets. Gave up 2 runs on 7 hits. 7 innings before that at Philadelphia. Crowd cheers as the Caps have taken the lead downtown. And we've got a call to the bullpen in southeast. Packaged by the UPS store, your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics, and that's Mike Dunn on the way.
In a second, Denard Span ready to rock and roll. Be sure to text Masson's word of the day rotation to 29292 for a chance to win a meet and greet with that guy right there on your screen, Denard Span. That's rotation to 29292 for your chance to win. I see Mike Dunn, fastball average at 94 this year. The breaking ball is a slider at 86. An occasional changeup, doesn't throw it very often. Denard Span will see fastball, slider.
Guy who can bring it against a hitter who's bringing it every time up, it seems these days. Michael Taylor, great speed, runs for Robinson at first base. Denard Span is 3 for 6 career with 2 walks against Mike Dunn. 1 for 3 tonight. He could be 3 for 3. Taylor back. He has 2 of the Nats, 3 stolen bases.
I mean, there's all kinds of holes out there for Denard Span. Look at how close Prado's playing. Look at the middle infield cheating in for double play depth, and Bohr holding the runner on. I mean, there's holes all over this infield for Denard if he hits one hard.
He'll go to left, and that'll back up Ichiro. Second out of the inning, and Taylor has to retreat.
Time for Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Yunel Escobar, a perfect 3 for 3 tonight. Of course, he brought his lumber. We're going to show you all 3 hits in the first inning. Goes the other way for a knock. There goes the no-hitter. Then in the third inning, a little pull action on a curveball from David Phelps, another knock. And then in the 5th inning, goes the other way again. So a perfect 3 for 3 working tonight for Yunel Escobar, and he brought his lumber. Brings his lumber every game.
Escobar with 2 outs. One for 3 career against the left-hander Mike Dunn.
See, this is where you're hoping that him facing a left-hander and Redmond not going to the bullpen pays off for Matt Williams.
Up and away.
You're wondering if Michael Taylor's getting a read on Mike Dunn, too.
Stretching that lead out. Leaning towards second, which is how he leads off. He's off and running, and Escobar will drop one into right field. Taylor can't find the ball. Now he does. The ball is booted, and Bob Henley's going to hold him as Stanton throws one home on a hop. Had Michael Taylor been able to locate the ball a little quicker, things might have gotten interesting.
Well, in his defense, it was a straight steal. It's not a hit and run, but still as a base stealer, you have to roll your head after about the 3rd step and find the baseball. You see Michael Taylor's head down the whole way. He has no clue where that ball is. He did a good job of picking up Bob Henley immediately, but if he had peeked, he would have rolled right through and kept going. I don't know why he stopped with 2 outs. But the fact that he didn't look may have cost the Nats a run. It's nice to see them being aggressive and steal a base right there, but I mean, hindsight being 20/20, nobody knew that ball was going to be booted by Stanton. And a nice hold by Bob Henley because Stanton threw a rocket, one hopper right on the money.
Jason Worth is next. Stanton, good throw. The Nats still 90 feet from a tie.
down. Some don't like to look. But here's about the time you should look, in my opinion, if you're a base stealer. Right about maybe a click longer. So you see the baseball right about there. You take a peek in after 3 or 4 steps, just a glance so you know where the ball is. I know what Michael Taylor's thinking. I'm in a big league ball game. It's a one-run game, and I got to steal this base. But not knowing where the ball is right there, had he peeked, he'd have been about 4 steps ahead of where he is. Might have given Bob Henley a chance to send him. But it's just a quick glance. On a hit and run, you can really roll your head for a long time and look because you have to see if there's contact. On a straight steal, it's just a little peek over your shoulder once you think that ball is going to get in the hitting zone, just to let you know if the guy put it in play or not.
Jason Worth is 4 for 5 career against Sam Dyson. Runs it at the knees. Look at that. 98 with movement.
Got a good fastball, got a good slider. Righty's hitting 129 off Dyson.
Took a little bit off 97.
It's got some late sink.
Battle begins now.
Be ready for a ball in the dirt here if you're on third base. That slider can get away.
Gave him a fastball. Jason Worth ties the game. 0-2 center cut, and Worth makes him pay with his 7th RBI.
Well, the first 2 pitches were sinkers. This is a 4-seamer or a sinker that just doesn't do a whole lot. It stayed up for Worth. The first one was 98. The second one was 97. The bottom dropped out of both of those. That one flattened out. Worth ready in an 0-2 count. Base hit up the middle. And we got a tie ball game, folks.
Boy, some hitters against some pitchers. Worth 5 out of 6 career against that right-hander. And here's Bryce Harper, who's 3 for 5 against Sam Dyson. That closes the book on Phelps, responsible for that run because he walked Clint Robinson.
In my opinion, if Mike Redmond brings in the guy he's got in there right now to face Escobar, maybe this inning doesn't get this far. He left Dunn in to face a righty.
And Harper will pop it up on the first pitch. Out there in short left field, taken by Echeverria. The Nats tie the game. They get Jordan Zimmerman off the hook. And this one into the 8th, a 2-2 battle.
We're tied up yet again, 2-2 ball game at Nats Park. The Nationals bullpen got off to a rough start to the season, but as Matt Williams has put some guys in some different roles, they've been able to put things together. Of late, the bullpen has pitched to a 1.56 ERA in the Nats' last 5 wins over a 6-game stretch. They're really finding their groove, guys, as the Nats have gotten going, and Blake Trinan's going to take the ball now.
Yeah, it was Aaron Barrett, 8th inning. Last time or 2 away, and this time it's Trinan. And Blake falls behind with 97 outside to D. Gordon. Gordon is 1 for 4 career against him with a base on balls.
Well, this at-bat right here is everything in a tie game in the 8th.
Yeah, this guy gets aboard. It's almost like 2 bags.
Just makes the bunt easy, and we'll see how they play it if he does get on. But
3-0.
He's had trouble throwing strikes out of the bullpen, and
he has. This ball just moves all over the place. Strike 1.
Well, do you take right here if you're D. Gordon is the question. He's been swinging a hot bat. Do you fill up the count, or are you hacking?
No need. Not even close. Well, the Nats just walked D. Gordon now. We noted this last week in Miami. Not the greatest stolen base percentage. He's second in the league with 11 steals to the 13 of Cincinnati's Hamilton, but he's been caught 6 times.
There's no defense for that.
Martin Prado, smart, efficient, number 2 hitter who sprays it around, and that was pretty close.
So there's a couple ways that Mike Redmond can play this. Straight up, do nothing. Let D. Gordon try to steal second base, then bunt him over. But I think if you bunt him over right here, you're taking the bat out of Stanton's hands. So I don't know how they're going to play this. I wouldn't bunt right here. You got a guy that can hit behind a runner, handle the bat. I think you just play her straight up.
In that series in Miami, Wilson Ramos threw out D. Gordon twice, and Bryce Harper threw him out at second base, trying to stretch a single. Still awaiting the first pitch to Martin Prado as Gordon puts himself back together at first base.
That's a max lead right there. That's as far as he's going to get.
And a hard bunt, foul.
If you remember, was it yesterday we were talking about it? The speed of the runner dictates the direction of the bunt, or how fine you have to be with the bunt. If they are going to play this, it's all Martin Prado has to do is get the ball down anywhere, and Gordon's safe at second. It doesn't have to be the first baseman. It doesn't have to be the third baseman. It just has to be in the dirt, and Gordon will take care of the rest.
Oh, my.
I don't know why he's trying to be so fine.
It looked like his feet were actually on the move there, as if he was bunting for a hit. So the count 0-2. Escobar can back up a bit. Is Martin Prado so good he could bunt with 2 strikes? Not many managers keep the sign on here. This guy handles the bat so well. He still could advance the runner. Trinan will try to keep him from doing that. Ramos wants it low and in. Step off and a look.
Also, I don't like the bump play if a guy's walked a guy before. If it's a 3-2 pitch ball 4, that's a different thing. But when he's not near the strike zone and you're going to give the opponent an out, I'm not sure about that whole strategy by Mike Redmond.
Prado 0 for 1 career with a strikeout against Blake Trinan, who fans him again, and then the throw to second. It's dropped by Espinosa. And that appeared to be a bit of a delay by Gordon. And you hope Danny Espinosa's okay.
Yeah, Espinosa got there in a weird position, didn't he?
Did Gordon delay there before going?
Well, let's take a look. Good throw by Wilson Ramos. Great slider by Blake Trinan. And yeah, that was a delay steal. You see the double pump. Good pick by Espinoza. But he's kind of in a weird position when he catches this. Not straddling the base. He had his back to D. Gordon, which you don't see very often with a second baseman. I think he was fooled trying to get over there late. Gets the tag down. Would have been out. But a late, tough slide by D. Gordon knocks the ball loose.
You know, and you make a good point there. Guy comes in, hands first, head first, he's out. The body of Gordon dislodged that baseball.
Well, I'll take the bat out of Giancarlo's hands.
Yeah, that was interesting. Well, Wilson Ramos came close to gunning Gordon down for the third time in the last 3 games. It'll be Marcell Ozuna with 2 aboard, 1 out here in the 8th. And here's the 3-0 pitch. Left-hander Matt Grace for Justin Bour, who's next, who homered his last time up.
Remember, Ozuna's been swinging early in the count, something he didn't do in the first 15 games of the season.
Tough guy to double up. He can fly. He has an RBI hit and then 2 ground balls. .85 in there. Trinan takes a little bit off.
First pitch slider, steal strike 1. If a pitcher's looking for a fastball, he can steal a strike with an off-speed pitch. That's exactly what he did. If a hitter's looking for it.
Another slider. Everybody conscious of that 96.
Well, I'm no rocket scientist, but I say one more.
Ramos calls it. Got him on another one. Ozuna never saw a fastball. 2 outs.
Oh, that was nice. We talk about reading swings. Great job, Wilson Ramos, putting down that slider 4 times in a row against Marcell Ozuna, and he was sitting on 98. And guess what? He never saw it. You see the grip. Blake was telling me how he changes the grip. He's got one that's in the mid-80s, one that goes straight down, one that has a little tilt to it. That was the one that went straight down, and Ozuna still convinced that he was getting a fastball. Nice job of executing a game plan against the Marlins center fielder.
Tell you, Matt Williams waited a long time before coming out. He will take out Trinan, who walked the leadoff guy. Got tough after that. It'll be a lefty-lefty with rookie Matt Grace and a rookie Justin Bour in a moment.
Folks, so we're going to give Blake Trinan a little love for the nasty sliders that he featured to Marcelo Ozuna, guy that came in here hitting hot, looking for that two-seam fastball at 97, 98, and he got 4 sliders for the strikeout. Time for a Toyota case for kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by donating $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this season. That helicopter just almost hit me in the head. You see how close that was?
Yeah, we had a very close flyover about 20 seconds ago. Grace and Bohr haven't faced each other. Some of the Marlins did last weekend. Baker, Gordon, Echeverria, and Prado. But Matt has been, well, almost amazing. 0 ERA, 6 appearances, 3 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts. Yeah, and here's Baker hitting for Bohr, who struck out against Matt in Miami. Veteran guy, Jet Baker, who's been around for a long, long time. In swing mode is the 33-year-old outfielder, infielder. Spent most of his big league career with Colorado and the Cubs. Baker is a pinch hitter, 1 for 6. He challenged him, hit hard. Here they come. Here's Harper's throw. It's on target, and Ramos drops it. The Marlins take a 3-2 lead. Leadoff walk. That runner comes in to score. And they had a shot if Wilson Ramos holds on.
Boy, the theme of this ending is drop baseballs, right? First at second base, Danny Espinosa couldn't hang on to tag out D. Gordon. Now Bryce Harper with one of the fastest runners in the league. The ball was hit hard. You knew there was going to be a play. Perfect throw by Harper. And Ramos couldn't handle the hop. He's coming out in front of the plate. And if he catches this, is he out? Boy, it'd have been close, right?
Here's
nice,
Rio Muto.
Nice at bat by Baker.
We're going to walk him and go lefty-lefty with Ichiro to load the bases here.
In all fairness to both players, those were not easy plays. Espinosa on the short hop from Ramos, covering late, and that one had a little hair on it from Bryce Harper.
You know, and the other thing, FP, with these still kind of new rules about catchers, they got to lay off the plate, then they have to deal with an in-between hop. It's a lot to do to get that tag across the plate.
It's funny you're saying that, Carby. When I'm watching the replay, I'm thinking the same thing. We saw Ramos take like 3 steps to get out in front of the plate, and he likes to grab the ball and dive back toward the plate. And with the new rule change, you know, back in the day, you just straddle home, you get that nice long hop, you drop a shin guard on the guy or your glove on the guy, and you don't have to get out in front and make that dive back and get the runner play. That takes time.
So much more complicated for catchers now. Breaking ball outside.
So normally you just straddle home plate, right, back in the day. But with the new rule last year, watch Ramos have to shuffle out. Then he comes back. And I don't know if he would have been safer out. We'll never know.
Ball 2 to Ichiro. Just did get the edge. So third base, Giancarlo Stanton, who was intentionally walked. Baker at first, the huge pinch hit. Actually at second. And then behind him, Rio Muto at first. He also intentionally walked. Ichiro guides one up the middle. Espinosa drops it. 4-2 Miami. Looked like Danny was going to shovel it with his glove. And we've seen him drop those before.
Maybe he's going to go glove flip to Ian Desmond for the third out. Let's see what he's thinking. He has no play at Ichiro at first. Yeah, you called that right, Carp. He was going to flip that to Desmond right here. Watch, he's going to flip it to Desmond. No, maybe not. Yeah, you could see the way he was following through right there. He was. Ball wasn't in his glove. Another drop ball.
Miami now 4-2. Well, in New York, Grace Barrett Saturday. Yesterday, Thornton Barrett taking care of business in the 8th inning, but the 8th inning a rough one tonight.
Still a big out right here. I mean, you just don't know what's coming out of that Marlins bullpen. Still a ball game. You got to get this out.
Ramos blocks it, keeps the runners at their bases. First, second, and third. And they gave Suzuki an RBI hit on that. Hard breaking ball down and in to the right-hander. Echeverria 2 for 3 tonight. 1 for 1 in that series in Miami against Grace, and Michael Morse is out to hit for Dyson. Yet the inning continues. 2-1. Both of those runs charged to Blake Trinan because of an intentional walk and the non-intentional one to Gordon before that. Count goes full. Well, he had to challenge Baker with a fastball. Now it's 3-2 to another right-handed batter.
If I'm Echeverria, I'm sitting on a heater right here, and if you throw anything else, you got me.
Fastball got him. Up in the zone, Echeverria took it. Marlins got 2. They might have had more. Ryan Zimmerman leads off bottom 8. Ramos and Desmond to follow. So to the bottom of the 8th we go. 5, 6, 7 for the Nats. They'll be a little bit deeper into that Marlins bullpen. You know, not to be lost in all of this, the fact that in almost 4 full ball games, the Nationals have only scored 6 runs against the Miami pitching staff. So here's the do-up brought to you by Honda, bottom 8. Career averages against the Marlins, Ryan, a ton of damage. Wilson Ramos RBIs, not a high batting average, and Ian Desmond a little bit of both. Baker, after getting that big hit, stays in to play first base. And the new pitcher, right-hander Brian Morris. Brings the heat most of the time. '28-year-old right-hander who split time between the Pirates 21 games and the Marlins 39 last year.
Yeah, that heat you're talking about averages 95. He's got a cutter at 91 to go with it and a slider at 84.
Ryan Zimmerman against Brian Morris. 0 for 2 career with a couple of ground balls. So Morris tries to bridge things to Steve Cishek in the 9th inning, their closer. That was 94 with some run on it for a strike. Then he runs that one back at 95. Target in. Zimmerman takes it near his hands. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No swing. 3-2.
I mean, it says cutter at 91 to 93 under his stats, but that was a slider at 93. That had tilt and depth to it, meaning that it broke down and away. A cutter, if you don't know, usually kind of stays on the same height and cuts away from a hitter, but that one had depth to it. It went down and away at 93.
Payoff pitch to the leadoff man. And the Nats get a base runner. Good at bat by Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, that's how it started in the 8th for the Marlins, a leadoff walk. Pretty close pitch here. Up and in. Good at bat.
Wilson Ramos with a double and a walk. 1 for 2 career against Brian Morris, who, by the way, comes into this appearance with an ERA of over 6 against the Nats the last few years. Ramos, hardline drive out to center field last time. He's 1 for 2, or rather 1 for 3. Strikeout in between back in the 4th. Not biting on the slider. I mean, I've never even heard of a 90 slider, much less a 93 that he threw earlier.
Rob Nen used to have a 92, 93 mile an hour slider to go with 98.
Wow.
But yeah, to your point, you don't see it very often. That is a slider. That ain't no cutter.
And Ramos out ahead of that one. Baker the call. 1 out, bottom 8.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, celebrated 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Now, if you can get one out there, that is definitely out of market.
Couldn't help it, sorry.
Ian Desmond against Morris, career 0 for 3. Got a first pitch slider. That one's deep to center. This game is tied. Ian Desmond to the batter's eye.
Great ball game.
A walk and a blast.
It's a great ball game. Leadoff walks will kill you. They always have. They always will. And Ian Desmond making the Marlins pay. Fans want him out of the dugout.
That's the Nationals' first home run since Denard Span at Atlanta last Wednesday. What a clout. Espinosa shoots a foul ball outside first. So for Ian Desmond, his second of the year.
Well, we talked about how it's warm tonight and this ballpark's playing small. Wilson Ramos just missed a hanging slider the pitch before this, or at least the hitter before this. And Ian Desmond gets one. You throw 98 miles an hour, you fool around with the slider, that's what happens. Ian Desmond, a rocket shot to left center field to tie this ball game up. Wow. He almost hit the moon, Cart.
Wow. Yeah, that covered a couple of light years on its way out of here.
Yeah, close. Left center or foul and right and way over the ballpark. Close.
Rally moon, huh?
Yeah.
Espinosa the hitter. Tyler Moore on deck here. The Nats have new life in the bottom of the 8th. Espinosa swings over the top of that breaking ball. 2 down.
Well, that's why I was saying it's a big out for Matt Grace to get out of that bases loaded jam. The Marlins are one swing of the bat away from putting this one on ice. So even though it looks bad, 4-2, you're thinking, no. Those outs after the run score are sometimes even bigger. So give Grace some credit for striking out Echeverria right there.
105 miles an hour when that ball left the bat.
Came in at 91, slider left at 105. Nats bats.
Nice. Tyler Moore has a career homer against Morris, 1 for 2. He runs the fastball back in there. And he's hitting for Matt Grace. So the bullpen, the kids who pitched the 8th inning, Treinen and Grace off the hook here. And Tyler spots the 85. Matt Williams said today he won't hesitate to use Tanner Roark in short, at least shorter situations than we're used to seeing him. They kind of like the way he threw in New York and in Atlanta.
I found out more about Matt Grace tonight than I've seen him in a 1-2-3 inning. You know, he gave up the big knock to Baker, intentionally walked Real Muto. Then Ichiro gets that infield single. He's a kid out there, hasn't had a lot of time in the big leagues. What does he do? He gets right back in the strike zone, makes some nasty pitches to Echeverria to get his team back in the dugout. You can find out more about a guy when all heck's breaking loose behind him than you can in a 1-2-3 inning. That was nice.
2-1. Tyler Moore up the middle with a base hit. And I know he wants to play more, and we'd all like to see him play more. But Tyler is now 3 for 10 as a pinch hitter and maybe starting to get the hang of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, you remember the big spring training Tyler Moore had, and he's doing a great job off the bench. Big knock.
He's now 2 for 3 career against Brian Morris. And to the top of the order now it goes. There's no activity in the Miami bullpen. Denard Span 1 for 4 career against this right-hander. This inning might be far from over.
Yeah, look at the scoreboard. The Marlins scored 1 in the top of the first. The Nats scored 1 in the bottom. The Marlins scored 1 in the top of the 7th. The Nats scored 1 in the bottom. The Marlins scored 2 in the top of the 8th. The Nats scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th. That's called answering.
That's about hit him. 10-8. Good tough ball game between division rivals here. And after this homestand with the Marlins 3, and Span didn't like the call, And the Braves 3. It's goodbye to division play for a while.
Denard did not like that call, and he's telling Lance Barksdale, calm down. I just said I didn't think it was a strike. Nothing personal. Suave.
Well, until Desmond hit that ball a moment ago, Denard had the most recent home run 5 games ago. And that was some kind of rocket to center field.
I just love warm Nats Park compared to cold Nats Park.
It's more fun.
It's way more fun.
Yeah.
If you're a hitter.
Span hits it hard. Right field corner. Tyler Moore heading for third. Span going to second. Stanton throws into the cutoff man at the first base bag. And this inning is far from over. Denard a 2-for-5 night. And he didn't let that first pitch call ruin his at-bat.
No, he stayed on the slider again. Nicely. And Stanton was playing so far off the line, it was an easy first to third for Tyler Moore. A nice at-bat by Denard Span, and boys are swinging it.
Now it's Yunel Escobar, who's 0 for 1 career against Morris, but he's looking for his 5th hit of the night.
Boone had a few runs in it, didn't he? We showed it on the promo. That's a great shot.
That's Amore.
This is a right man in the right spot. 4 for 4 tonight. You know Escobar.
Worth on deck. First base open. But Jason looking dangerous tonight with a couple of hits, and one has driven in a run. So suddenly, situation in the bullpen changing as the ABs go along here. Escobar lays off the high fastball.
If I throw 98, I'm getting beat with 98. I am not messing around with the slider if I'm Morris anymore.
3 hits, a walk in the inning, and the walk started this thing. Escobar chops it foul. Are going to lead by 2. Escobar is 5 for 5.
That's officially my first goosebump moment of 2015. Number 5, 5 for 5, and the proverbial right man in the right spot, Yunel Escobar, comes through in a big way. How good is Yunel Escobar? Come on. The guy's done everything you've asked, played second, played third, gives you a good at-bat every time. Jose Lobaton, I'm right there with you, bro.
If you could do a curtain call for a guy on first base, that would have been it.
He has been fun to watch, and he's clutch on top of it.
Here's Worth, the 8th man to bat in the inning. The Marlins are just now getting another pitcher ready, Nick Massett. Mike Redmond has had to suffer through a long 8th inning with Brian Morris getting knocked around by the Nats. His ERA of 6.14 against Washington has gone up in this inning. That's a strike to Worth, and the count's even 1-1. Jason 2 for 4 tonight. RBI single last inning tied this game at 2, and now it's 6-4 Washington.
I guess when you're down by 8 runs and you come back, being down by 2 is not a big deal.
Yeah, that's just one swing of the bat, huh? Worth amped, way out ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And, making light of it, but when you do come back from something like that, getting back to the Braves game, you feel like you're in everything. It's okay, what's our identity for 2015? Well, what's going on here? And when you get together and come back from an 8-run deficit like that, you feel like you come back from anything.
It looks like Tanner Roark is going to be the closer tonight. Drew Storen pitched 3 times in the Mets series. Worth, good take. Drew, of course, saved both of the 1-0 games, and he pitched the 9th inning in the 8-2 win in New York on Thursday.
9-1-2 due up for the Marlins in the 9th.
It means you better retire that first guy with D. Gordon coming up. Worth. And a breaking ball hit to the right side for D. Gordon. What an 8th inning for the Nats. 4 runs. 4 hits. Ian Desmond. A little higher would have been a moonshot. Look where that baby lands. That got the game tied. And then Yunel Escobar goes 5 for 5 to get the Nats the lead. Second home run of the year. Yunel Escobar got him up by 2 with his 5th hit of the night. And Tanner Roark, with Drew Storen not available here in the 9th inning, will take on 9-1-2, as FP said. And the leadoff man will be veteran left-handed hitter Reed Brignac.
Kind of makes sense with Drew Storen having the day off. We talk about Jason Worth and Denard Span missing spring training. Well, remember Drew Storen had that hamate bone taken out of his left hand, and he missed a lot of spring too. So Tanner Roark, a chance for a save. Here we go.
Reed Brignac facing him for the first time. Ball drifts outside, 93. Well, if you get this first guy, D. Gordon can't hurt you as much as he could. So this is huge, and not to be forgotten, if you don't get a 1-2-3 9th, there's a guy named John Carlo who's in that dugout. First things first, Roark and Brignac got him to swing on the low breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
15-game winner a year ago, going for his first save.
One-two pitch.
95.
It comes out so easy.
He's pumped.
Got him on the slider in the dirt, no contact. Brignac stands there claiming he foul tipped it. It looked like a clean miss.
95 up to a curveball down. You see pitch number 4 out of the strike zone. A great call by Ramos. He sees this high, he thinks it's another fastball. And by the time he realizes it's the curve, he swings right over the top. Good block by Ramos.
And now D. Gordon facing Roark for the first time. Slapped foul left side. D. Gordon 0 for 3 tonight. A walk, a steal, a run scored. And that Marlins go-ahead 2-run 8th inning before the Nats came back to shock them with 4. That's high in the strike zone. 0-2.
95. If I know Tanner Roark like I think I do, he is absolutely digging this.
Up the middle, got through Roark and Espinosa, and D. Gordon's aboard. So barring a double play, Stanton will bat in this game. Martin Prado next. Just got it past the pitcher.
Now Roark, usually in a good fielding position when he lets go of the ball, just gets under his glove, and even if Espinosa gets that, put it in your pocket with D. Gordon running. Good effort by Espinosa.
Martin Prado against Tanner Roark, 1 for 3 career. Prado has bounced into 3 double plays. Danger lurking. Runs the fastball in there at 95. In there with 94. Out of play, right side. Tough guy to strike out, Prado. 1 for 4 tonight. 15 strikeouts in 95 at bats this year. Left field. Desmond out. He tells Worth he has it. 2 down. And it comes down to Tanner Roark and Giancarlo Stanton.
I don't know about that. We'll see how they approach this. I like Marcelo Zuna versus Tanner Roark better. I'm not saying you put Giancarlo on here if you're Matt Williams. But this is the guy, right? This is one of the premier players in all of baseball. He's got 6 home runs already on the year. And I think Ramos just went out there and said, let's bounce a few here. Not let this guy beat us. There's certain guys you circle in a meeting that say he's not going to beat us. For the Marlins, it's this guy right here.
The career numbers, Stanton 2 for 11 against Roark with a home run.
That's no knock against Ozuna either. This is just one of the best in the box.
Target in. He didn't go. Yeah, that fastball might have been designed to set up the bouncers away.
Well, you like to jam him. That's the book. Fastballs in that are going toward him. Sinking fastballs, running fastballs.
Just make sure you get it in there far enough. Now the target's away. There's the slider.
Yeah, this is an unintentional intentional, I believe.
So there are the numbers.
Still.
Two walks, 1 strikeout. 3-0.
Totally okay with this. whatever happens with the next guy. But heads up right here, he's swinging if it's close.
Look at Matt Williams, hands on his knees, as if he was playing third base in a fielding position. Fastball in there.
That was right down the middle.
Low and away the target. Slider low and away. Strike two.
Well, here we go, folks. Put your helmet on, buckle your chin strap, put your mouthpiece in. This is good stuff.
24,731 seeing some kind of ball game at Nationals Park tonight. And now they've seen a win. 6-4. Tanner Roark, first big league save. Matt Grace, first big league win. Series in the homestand. Off to a great start.
Tanner Roark can do anything. He can start, he can set up, and now he could add first career save to his resume. I mean, you feel like if you told him to play shortstop, he'd make every play and get 3 hits. What a job. I mean, they got strike one, and they said, okay, let's throw a slider and see if he chases. So the 3-0 pitch was big. They threw a slider 3-1. He swung, and then, hey, if you want to force the issue, we're going to throw a ball. And Stanton swung at ball 4. And look at the reaction from Tanner Roark. Game of the year. I mean, besides the comeback, this one was awesome.
Yeah, maybe the home game of the year for the Nats, who overcome a little adversity early in the game, and here's the game changer from T-Mobile.
Yes. What else would it be? Yunel Escobar, number 5, with his 5th hit of the day. His 5th hit of the night, I should say. Scores Denard Span. Unbelievable ball game. I'm still catching my breath from that one.
We'll gather our thoughts. And as Johnny says, maybe the Marlins will try to make some sense out of this. 6-4 Nats.